Okay, this is my Tribute T669 model. Obviously there are a lot of similarities in other Autotrail models and other Fiat Ducato based campers. All I'm going to be doing today is removing this broken shore power or external power inlet, because if you look inside, I've done a repair in the past, it's actually snapped. So inside the camper now, and just looking at the replacement unit I've got here, it is slightly different, annoyingly. I was hoping that, first of all, it was hard tracking down one that was exactly the same colour. I got this one off of eBay. But yes, the parts are fairly standard, as you would expect inside. That's going to be fairly easy to replace when I get the old one out. Yeah, but it's a slightly different design, so it is going to be a different fit. Next, I need to just measure up and make sure that this really is the perfect fit that it should be, that it's not too deep, that it's not too wide or too long, and then I can take out the old one and put in the new one. Well, that's interesting. Here we go. It would appear that this is, we can't really see from there, but it is a slimmer unit. So it may not fit the hole. It all depends the thickness of this bezel around the existing one. So I will just have to see. But in terms of depth, yeah, almost identical, which was the measurement that I took, obviously, when I ordered online. So I've removed the 4 torque screws and used a Stanley blade to score along the existing mastic. And now that comes out, and it does look like the hole is smaller, thank goodness. Oh dear. But this one looks certainly more robust than the one I've bought to replace it with, but I guess a socket is a socket, but you can see they're quite deep. Well, this I didn't expect. There's a section on the back that contains the trip switch that you actually access from inside. So you can see that goes all the way through to the inside of a cabin, So unless I can put this back box onto the new darker grey front socket, I may be stuck. So behind the lighter grey cover, you can see we've got the C16, the 16 amp trip switch, which is screwed to the dark grey housing with 2 Phillips head screws, which I'm still hopeful, looking at the replacement, that it may just be possible to feed that wire in the top, drill a couple of holes for this rail to attach with this, and I may be still in with a chance. It all depends whether I can get the new box to fit inside that grey. Well, it's never as easy as it first seems, is it? Yeah, you can see here where my old repair has failed quite miserably. In fact, it's had it completely now. That was a stainless steel bolt gone through and as much glue as I could find. But yeah, it's worth a point of interest, really. This rotates this collar from outside of this upper housing, but to make that happen, you have to push a screwdriver. Look, it's got a little press to open sign there. You have to push that in, then twist it. That on this particular model, if you're doing it to a T669 or probably any of the Tribute models, or maybe even Autotrail as well, this is what you need to do next. Okay, a few problems. So good news is it fits in the hole perfectly. Bad news is, you can see here, the screw holes for the old one are just peeking out of the sides here. Now, if I can remove this successfully without scratching my paintwork up, which I think I should be able to, I've got some Far-Clog compound that I could probably rub that clean with. Then I'm hoping then a new bead of sealant all the way round would actually take that out. I'll have to get some black or silver sealant, something dark. It's not perfect, the way it fits in at the back against this new box, but the good news is it does fit in the hole. It needs to be done. I cannot source the original part. I have searched extensively online. So I think I'm gonna persevere with this. I'll show you how the lighter grey back box fits onto this one. It's not a perfect fit, but it's incredibly close. So without any pressure at all, I'm just gliding this new Stanley blade over the old sealant, and it seems to be removing it quite easily, which is pretty cool. You can see it's coming off quite nicely there. And I'm pretty convinced with the darker silicone I am going to be able to hide those other screw holes. Right, I won't lie to you, that was a faff. I tried fiberglass restore and wax as a last resort. I tried this Farclar G3 liquid compounds to try and get that stuff off, the old gasket paste or silicone. I tried meths. I tried acetone. And do you know what did it? WD-40. WD-40 sprayed on. I got back as much as I could with the blade, as I showed you. Then I used WD-40, and then literally after about 5 minutes it just peels away with your thumbnail to leave it nice and clean. Now I've wiped everything down with acetone again, because obviously when I go to reapply that mastic when I refit, I don't want the WD-40 reacting with it. So that's all now clean. Okay, so taking the old box and using that as a template, I've taken those holes. You see there's a bit of blood there, I cut myself. Taken those holes, drilled through them to give me a template, and simply laid that across the top, other way around, sorry, across the top, and drilled those holes, and I've just mounted this plate. So in theory, it should all fit together. But that's all I've done. So I've transferred the bar across, used the same self-tapping screws that were there before, and this is a case of now putting it all back together. So that's now mounted on there. Now you can see there's a little gap there where I've probably over tightened on that corner, but it's in. You've obviously got that. The only thing is, I would say that's a bit tight there on the test button. Now, if that's a problem, I will whip it out and put a couple of washers in. I could put a couple of washers in behind there just to bring that forward a little bit. But the honest truth is, I can press that. That's no problem. So yeah, if you were really worried about that sort of thing, you could change it, but I don't think it's necessary. So I'm just going to do a quick check to see that it does fit, to sort out that grommet in there, because that's slipped out by the looks of things. And then attach the outside connection. Okay, so we're starting to get there. It fits flush, it fits well. Yes, I've got those little screw holes just overlapping, but I'll straighten it up to hide those, and they will be hidden in mastic. If the mastic won't do it, I could put something behind there, either a square of black plastic or something with the hole cut out. But I think, actually, I'm probably being a little over fussy. I think once this thing's fitted, you're not really going to see that too badly. The mastic will hide it, but we'll see. Okay, another quick update. I have put washers in, so that's slightly proud as it was before. That's secured. I've also put a single wrap of tape just around there, just because it was a tiny gap there. Obviously you can see it just clips in. I don't know if I can get enough light in there to show you, but yes, these two things kind of go up those little sloped ramps and click into position. Got the grommet back into position, got my wire fed through. I had to kind of drill that nut grommet at the top there to allow it through. But now it's just a case of wire it up and put it in position. Okay, so things have moved on a bit. I did find some Sikaflex grey sealant, which is perfect for anything automotive. So I'm putting a bead of that around. You can see inside everything's now sorted. I've put a little cable tie behind that rubber grommet at the top to stop it from popping out again. And this is now lifting and popping home beautifully. I've drilled my new holes for the new mounting locations, and once this is in, I'm going to do a bead of that Sikaflex all the way around, just to try and hide those screws. If the screws can't be hidden that way, then it's a faff. I've got to take it off again, probably put, I don't know, some vinyl or something, some sticky vinyl, file these back a bit to hide it, or maybe put rivets in them, or a wider plastic kind of mounting. There's various things I could do to hide it, but I do not want to see screw holes, of course. And so we have the finished product. I put some tape around to get a nice straight line on the mastic, but I don't think that mastic looks like it's been overdone. You know, yes, there's a gap there to cover up those old screw heads which have been filled as well. But I'm quite pleased with that. I'm certainly not a professional. This is just, I'm a DIYer, but that's a very solid finish. Obviously the mastic's still wet, so I'm being gentle, but you can see that that is a good final finish. And inside the cabin, I've got that trip switch, the RCD breaker in place just as it was before. So yes, I reckon that looks factory fitted. So if you're attempting to do this yourself, as I say, I got this on eBay. It was under £20. And yeah, it's taken me about 2.5 hours in total, because there was a bit of trial and error along the way. If you've watched this, obviously it will take you a lot less time. So happy, yeah, camper socket fitting. I can't even say it, but I can do it.